G'day guys, welcome back again. We have got some BMW troubles today. As you can see, we have got a rough idle going on there. If I try and rev the vehicle, that's my foot flat, it's just bouncing up and down. Oh yeah, you can see all that smoke everywhere. Oh jeez, that's terrible, burning my eyes. So we know we've got incomplete combustion going on. Customer seems to think it's running out of fuel, but I don't think that's the case. No misfire really, it's like it's hunting, it's surging. So I think it might be a air restriction most likely, or something to do with the an air interruption. So it's going to get the scan tool on it. Let's see if we get any codes. Let's go from there. As you can see, only glow plug codes, so it's not really helping us. That's obviously going to cause maybe a hard start as such, but it's not really the main issue that's going on here. We obviously got some hunting going on, so yeah, it's actually not as bad. It was way worse than this, but see if we can get some live data up or something. I'll get some live data up on the screen and then I'll get you on. Okay, now this is very, very slow to acquire data, so I'm trying to reduce as much as I could. I just brought it some, PIDs that I thought would be appropriate. As you can see, our rail pressure at the top, our set point value and our actual rail pressure are pretty good, pretty well on target, so I'm not worried about fuel pressure as such. EGR activation 5%, probably a little bit lower than expected, but what stands out there is air mass actual versus air mass target. So our computer is wanting 375 mg and we are actually only getting about around 200-ish. So do we have an air restriction? Have we got our intake flap that's staying a little bit closed, reducing the airflow? Have we got an EGR that's stuck open, that's taking up the space and reducing how much fresh air we can get in, which is, that's what the airflow meter is reading. So I think what we'll do, what's great for BMW is they put the EGR right here. So I think what we'll do is we'll just look at the EGR first. Might just take this pipe off. I'll turn it off, take this pipe off, and we'll look at the position of the EGR valve, and I guess we'll decide what to do from there. Okay, I don't know if you can see that, but I can see that very clearly. That EGR is completely closed, so it's definitely not stuck open, but we are vacuum controlled, so I guess I'm just going to start this back up and let's get a vacuum gauge on it, see what's going on with the command side of it to make sure nothing funny is going on there. It's just easy. The EGR is right here at the top, so we're just going to take that first and rule that out. Okay, so now we're going to concentrate on just the EGR activation and the airflow PIDs. So what I've done is I've teed in a vacuum gauge to our control here. So let's start this up, see what the vacuum gauge does, and then go look at the data PIDs. Well, there you go. Look what happened there. It was around 1, 2, 3 inches, and then all of a sudden just shot up to 16, and that's when it started running like crap. So let's just take the control off. Control is off. EGR is completely closed now, and the car is running very, very smoothly. Let's see what happens when I rev it compared to before. Oh, there you go. I think our problem is the vacuum control to the EGR. So why would it be you know, around 1, 2, 3, and then all of a sudden shoot up to 16. I don't think it's going to get commanded that. That is, the computer doesn't want the EGR completely open at idle. That's absolutely not right. If we go look at the data PIDs, we'll see that the EGR activation quickly shot up to, what, 80%. I don't know whether that's like a sweep just to make sure it's working, like a quick sweep, and then it comes down. Went to what, 15%? And obviously when I took the vacuum off, EGR activation went on, deactivation went off, I think. But if you look at our air mass actual, now it's much higher than what we expected because our EGR is completely closed. That, you know, our EGR should be open a little bit at idle on this. And because it's closed, it's getting more air than it should, and that's why this number is higher than the actual target number. But as you can see, our EGR did not command 80-90% and then stay there the whole time. Our vacuum solenoid kept that there the whole time. So I dare say that we have got a control solenoid fault. Now I need to find out where it is. Okay, this thing is in the middle of nowhere, right under this intake manifold. If we follow our vacuum line, it goes to a tree that's on the main vacuum line, and then it goes all the way up under there. Yeah, we are not getting that very easily. Now, what I'd love to do is check the command wires to the vacuum control solenoid and make sure that the command matches the output. So, you know, are we getting a faulty command from the computer? You know, obviously our data PIDs on the computer are telling us that it wants it to be 5% or 15%, and it's not getting it. It's getting, you know, it's maxing out. So I just think the chances of that happening are extremely low, and this thing needs glow plugs anyway. I'm just going to take this intake manifold off and let's have a look at that solenoid valve and then decide, do we replace it or do we not? But I just plugged that back in. I put that T-piece back in. The vehicle's been off, and look at the vacuum gauge. It's just creeped up to 7 inches. So I'm putting money on this solenoid being faulty, but you know what? Let's get the manifold off and have a look. Okay, the manifold was actually not too bad to get off, so we've replaced the glow plugs already, all under there, and our solenoid is right there. So it's covered in crap. I'm going to get it out, see if we can test it somehow. Otherwise we might just bite the bullet and replace it, as it's, you know, that's what we're leaning towards anyway, but we'll see if we can test it off the car anyway and go from there. And here is our dirty, drabby pressure regulator, vacuum control solenoid, whatever BMW wants to call it. They've got a funny name for it. So just going to put the old one in. Done the glow plugs already, as you saw. I'm just going to put the new one in and whack it in. We're convinced that this is at fault. So let's put it in. Let's get the scan tool and the vacuum gauge back on it, and then go from there. Alright, we have got the new pressure control solenoid on. We've got everything back together with new intake manifold gaskets. We've got our vacuum gauge teed back in. Let's start it up and see what happens. Straight to 14, running like a dream still. Obviously I thought I may have been expecting that to be a little bit less, but obviously that's where it's meant to be. But as you saw from before, it got up to 14, 15 very quickly, and slowly started to creep up to 16, 17, 18, which was holding that EGR a little bit too far open, and that's what was causing the vehicle to run very, very poorly. But as you can see, we're sitting at idle, that's commanded, we are there, it's not moving, So that looks good. Let's go to the scan tool. And that looks more like it. So we've got 60% EGR activation. We have got our target air mass at 380, and we've got our actual air mass following up perfectly, which obviously proves to us that our intake flap is working correctly as well. Otherwise we would have a bigger discrepancy there. So that looks really good. Let's go back to the car. Still rock solid on 14. You can hear it's idling great. Let's jump in and we'll see it idle to compare what it was idling like before. Look at that, idling perfectly. Let's give it a rev. That looks good to me. This car's fixed. Let's just go for a good little drive, clean out all the crap. Who knows how long this has been running like this for. Let's give it a good run, clean all the crap out of the engine and the exhaust, whatever's hanging around, and clean up the spider webs, then give it a real good test. And just another little quick note while we're here, I'll just let you know that this car's been off for a bit, and look, our gauge is rock solid. It wasn't leaking any vacuum into this area, so clearly this solenoid is definitely working and working perfectly. So let's go for a little drive and see how it goes. Alright, we're on the road now, let's see how we go. Wowee, that goes pretty well actually. This is definitely fixed. So we still got quite a bit of smoke at the back, but obviously who knows how long this has been running really badly. So we're just going to go for a bit of a drive and see if we can clear that out, and we'll go back to the shop. We'll just check it for codes again. There was none before anyway, other than the glow plug codes, but we'll check it anyway. Let's go for the road test, get it back, and I'll let you know how it went. We're back at the shop. The car drove fantastic. All the smoke cleared up on the drive. You can see we're idling very, very well. Let's go look at the back of the car. Absolutely no smoke at all. So this car is completely fixed. We're just going to put the little trims back together that we took off earlier, send it back to the customer, and they'll be on their way down the road. So thanks for watching, guys. Hopefully this diagnosis sort of made sense. It might have been a little bit all over the place when I put the videos together, but hopefully the gist of it is there. Thanks for watching, guys. See you next time.